Let's
Nice.
talk college football, Jay.
We got maybe the best weekend in college football this
So far,
year.
easily.
Oh, so
Easily.
far for sure, but maybe in the whole year.
Possibly.
Let's get into our picks for the week. We have, what is that? Eight
games, baby.
8 games, week 7. First off, we don't have a ranked matchup here, but kind of a banger of a game. Washington at Iowa. I don't even know where I'm going to go with this one yet. So why don't you take the reins here? I'll feed off you.
I'll start off. I actually have Washington in this one. I like them coming off the big win against Michigan. I think they showed that offensively they can move the ball and they can score some points. Iowa's shown that they can't really do that as much. Iowa kind of a letdown season here, in my opinion, for the Hawkeyes. So I like the Huskies to come march into Iowa and kind of maybe beat the brakes off Iowa, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like your point about the offense. I think Iowa, obviously known for just being defensive and not scoring a ton of points. I like Washington to score more than Iowa to win, but their offense is too good, and Iowa just really can't get the ball moving. So give me Washington.
Yeah.
And then we go to the Red River rivalry, baby. Texas at Oklahoma. Quinn Ewers back for the Longhorns. I'm going to make it easy for you. Give me the Texas Longhorns, baby. Horns up.
I'm on the same side of you. This is a big game, historic game. So much coming into this game with this rivalry. A lot of moments, a lot of memories. I think it'll be a little bit closer just with the energy Oklahoma's going to bring in that environment. They know what type of game this is. It's a big boy rivalry.
Yeah.
But I will say I do favor. I think, is Ewers back in this?
He should be back, yes.
Should be back. So I like, obviously, number one Texas. They've looked like the most complete team all season, maybe besides Ohio State. But of who they've played, Texas has a more impressive strength of schedule at the moment. I like Texas to win, but I like I said, I think it will be a little bit closer than some people expect. Obviously, we're coming off a weekend where there was just upsets everywhere. So I think Texas might take Oklahoma a little bit lightly. So I like it in a close game, but I do have Texas winning.
Okay.
Moving on, we got the number 4 Penn State Nittany Lions, baby. They travel to the West Coast. They go to USC. Your favorite team ever. Who do you got in this one?
I definitely have Penn State in this one. I think USC, the newcomer to the Big Ten, I mean, they're just not ready for this Big Ten football. Give me the Penn State Nittany Lions to put a smackdown on the Trojans.
Oh boy, not the Trojans. Yeah, I'm gonna lean the same way. I have Penn State winning this one. They've looked really good quietly. I said this when they were like 9th in the country. Yeah. Obviously favorable for them that, some teams have fallen, especially in the SEC, but I still think even at 4, they're quiet. They're still quiet. Nobody's really talking about them. And I think this could be a statement game for them. Welcome to the Big Ten USC. This is what it's like playing some Big Ten football. So give me the.
It's kind of a must win for Penn State if they want to kind of be in the conversation at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think
they can't lose. They can't lose this, and then they play Ohio State at the end of the season. They can't lose.
I think that's the only test they really have left after this game is Ohio State. So,
and then we go to a Big 12 matchup: Arizona at number 14 BYU, Brigham Young University. They're the Cougars, right? I believe they're the Cougars.
Yes.
I don't know how I want to go in this one. I think Arizona has a good football team, and BYU, I'm just waiting for them to have a stinker. But I'm not going against the undefeated Cougars. Give me BYU at home to get it done.
Yeah, this is a huge Big 12 matchup. I mean, the games this week are insane. As just a fan of college football, this is awesome. Arizona has had some lulls on the season. They were looking to come into the season to stay in the top 25, stay ranked, but they've fallen a couple times, unfortunately. But I think they do kind of bounce back in this game a little bit. I'm going to take BYU in this one, but I think this is going to be a big game. This is, I think, BYU's biggest test so far, possibly. So I like Arizona to kind of show up a little bit here. I don't like that. I don't have them winning, but I think this could be a game where they kind of get some motivation here, kind of roll off of, even if it's a tough loss, they can kind of build off that. But I like BYU in this one. I think they go 6-0 here.
Let's go.
Next up, easily the game of the week, our matchup of the week. We're going to break it down in a little bit. But number 2 plays number 3, a top 5 matchup. You got to love to see it. I don't even want to pick yet. So
I don't know. I knew you were going to pass it to me before you picked.
What do you have in this one?
I think I'm going to go with Ohio State in this game. Just because Oregon's offensive line has been they've been questionable protecting Dylan Gabriel. I think Ohio State can get to Gabriel and cause trouble, even maybe for some turnovers. And I think they just get that running game going against Oregon. I am nervous about Oregon's just firepower through the air against this Ohio State defense. But give me the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I'm actually on the same spot as you. I'm gonna keep it a little short because we're about to break all of it down. But I do like Ohio State. I think this is just a tough game to choose. Like you said, Oregon could come out they could come out Saturday and score 13 points or 313 points.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I do have Ohio State winning this. It's a great game, great battle in the Big Ten. So love to see it. Moving on to an SEC matchup. In the top 15, we got number 9 Ole Miss coming off a smacking of I was high on South Carolina, and then we got, in my opinion, probably the most overrated team in the country. They go to LSU. They're not really that overrated. I just hate that they beat South Carolina the way they did. Anyway, they go to number 3 LSU. I'm gonna take Ole Miss. I voted against or picked against them last week. They said you're an idiot. So I'm not going to do that mistake again. I know they're on the road here, but they bounced back big. Kiffin and that coaching staff had them rolling in South Carolina. They just had a big win on the road. It is tough to go back-to-back, big wins on the road, but I like them to do it. I like the quarterback and coach matchup in this game. I think it favors Ole Miss. So give me Ole Miss, the Rebels.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Give me Ole Miss. Give me Jackson Dart. I just think they score more points than LSU. I don't think LSU is going to be able to keep up offensively.
Yeah.
And then we have another Big 12 matchup. The undefeated Iowa State Cyclones go to tough place to play. They go to Morgantown and play the West Virginia Mountaineers. I don't know where to go with this one yet. How about you pick first before I go?
Well, let me save you the time because I know who I'm picking.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
And it's not going to be Iowa
That's
State.
That's what I was thinking too, bro.
Give me West Virginia in a little upset at home to take down the undefeated, a little bit overrated Iowa State. I like West Virginia in this one. Like you said, Morgantown's going to be rocking. West Virginia's been a little bit on a lull this year. They've had some unfortunate losses, but I like the upset vibes here in Morgantown, and I like to see the goalpost get thrown in some river in West Virginia, just like we just came off of the Alabama and Vanderbilt game.
I just don't know how to go because we've picked every team the same, so I kind of want to just go on the other side of this game just so we're different.
Have we picked the same teams every game? Oh, God.
Give me Iowa State to get a dub. Just because why not?
Okay.
Give me the Cyclones, number 11. They're not frauds. They're going to go get a dub.
It's going to be a great game. A lot of great games. Finishing out our picks with the 8th game of the weekend, we got number 18 Kansas State going to my favorite team, Colorado Buffaloes. Who do you got in this one?
I have Kansas State in this one. This is the toughest matchup for Colorado so far. They did play probably their best game in the Deion Sanders era 2 weeks ago. I don't think they played. Was it last week or 2 weeks? I don't remember.
Colorado State was 2 weeks ago, yeah.
No, the one they played USF, I think.
Oh, yeah. That was last week.
I think it was whatever that was. That they played well. They played their best game probably ever that game. But Kansas State, it's just a different personnel. It's just a top 25 team. Give me Kansas State.
Yeah. So they played UCF. When was this?
UCF.
Yeah, they blew the brakes off UCF.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in this game, it's really easy for me to pick because I'm going to go with Kansas State too. I'm not going to lie. I would love to see them go into the Boulder and just dominate these clans. I'm sick of hearing about this team. But it is a good matchup. I'm going to take, like I said, Kansas State. I actually think this could be a little bit closer than I would like. So
I mean, they're
Banger.
3.5 point dogs.
Yeah.
So the books think they're going to be close.
I think it could. I mean, it's on the road. It's going to be a high energy game.
It's going to be a banger.
High energy
Environment.
game. Yeah, it's 10:15 p.m. and for East Coast, obviously, but I think the energy is going to be lively in Colorado. They're coming off of back-to-back wins here, so I think it could be good. But
Yeah.
that's our 8 games.
That's a banger.
That's a slate and a half right
We're only
there.
on one other side, and it's Iowa State WVU.
And I'm going to win it.
Nah.
We're going to talk about we're talking about the best game of the week.
Number 2 and 3.
Let's break down the biggest Big Ten matchup we've gotten so far. We got a Big Ten banger here in the Pacific Northwest. Number 2 goes to number 3. It doesn't get any better than that, really. The only better scenario is 1 plays 2. So this is crazy. Oregon's offense, do they show up, Jason, against the Buckeyes defense, who are giving up a whopping 6.8 points per game? Sure, they haven't played anybody. Whatever. They're giving up not even a touchdown a game. The Ducks have struggled in the red zone this season compared to last year when Bo Nix was leading it. Gabriel's coming off of a 2-interception game, which he hasn't done in almost 3 years until I put money on him. Both turnovers were on the goal line in this game last week against Michigan State. He's made some mistakes that are a bit questionable, especially with, like you said, that high-powered offense they have, and they've tailored it to him to be successful. So they got to come out hot in this game. I think a win here for the Ducks basically solidifies them as the playoff berth for the Big Ten, in my opinion. Maybe, I don't know, like maybe Ohio State's strength of schedule will come back favorable, but if they beat Ohio State here, they have nobody rest of the season besides Michigan. It's their only test of the season, and we've all seen that Michigan is doo-doo. So, in my opinion, if Oregon wins here, I think they're in as a berth in the Big Ten. But on the flip side, it would be a huge win for Ohio State, but it's not as easy to say that they'll be a certified playoff berth in the Big Ten because they travel to College Station in 2 weeks, and they play number 4 Penn State on the road. So it's not as easy. Again, it's not as easy to say that they're going to be in a shoe-in for the Big Ten. But overall, I just think the amount of moves Ohio State has made in the offseason, their coaching, how good Will Howard has been playing this year. This guy has 12 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions and 178 passer rating. I think it's just too much for the Ducks to keep up with in this game. And like we've talked about, the Ducks have had some lulls here. They only beat like Iowa State, or not Iowa State, it was like Idaho State by 10 points week 1. Yeah. They struggled against Boise State. They gave up 34 at home. I know they got Michael Myers in the backfield out there for the Broncos, but overall, I just think that the Oregon Ducks have not looked as buttoned up and as polished as the Buckeyes. The favorable thing for Oregon is they're at home. They don't got to travel. They got a team coming way out west to play them, so that might be favorable for them. But I just think Ohio State right now is playing too well, and their offense is hitting on every cylinder right now. I just think that the Ohio State Buckeyes are too much to keep up with for Oregon.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off a couple of things you said. Like you said, Oregon started pretty slow to start the season. Some question marks early. They won their first 2 games of the season by a total of 13 points. But they've turned it around recently behind the arm of Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback, who's completed 77% of his passes. And Oregon has won their last 3 games by an average of 26 points. The key matchup for me is going to be the Ohio State DBs versus the Oregon wideouts. They have probably like an arguably the best receiving core in the nation, led by Tez Johnson. The Ohio State secondary has been kind of questionable to start the season against really no one. They've allowed QBs to complete 66.7% of their passes. And like I said, mostly against lesser competition. If there is a weakness in the Oregon Ducks passing game, it's the pass protection. Like I said, Oregon has allowed 7 sacks in 5 games. Dylan Gabriel is under pressure on 23% of his dropbacks. If the Ohio State D-line can get in there, change the game, get Gabriel off his spot, don't let him get those high percentage completion passes, and maybe force some turnovers in the backfield. And then on the other side, Ohio State getting that run game going against the Ducks. Like you mentioned, Ashton Genty diced this Ducks defense up for 120 or 192 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Crazy.
Ohio State's going to look to get that run game going, exploit that front seven of the Ducks. So I think it's really the trenches, that O-line on both sides. If they can get it going for the Ohio State running game, and then the Ohio State defensive line, get pressure on Gabriel, make him uncomfortable, force some mistakes. Like you said, he had 2 interceptions on the goal line. If they can do stuff like that, they can win this football game.
Yeah, I think Gabriel coming into this game with 77% completion is leading the FBS right now. I know he was at 81 something going into the Michigan State game, so he's known for protecting the ball usually. So that game last week was a little bit eye opening. Those 2 interceptions, like you said, if Ohio State can cause him to kind of make some mistakes and get the ball, if they can win the turnover and get the ball more and have more opportunities for the offense, I think it's going to slide into Ohio State's favor. But nonetheless, that's our matchup of the week. What a banger in the Big Ten.
I'm excited for that one. Prime time.
Big time game.